I'd like to welcome everyone out to the Hurley Investments Financial Services Commentary. Today is Tuesday, the 29th of August, 2017. I thought I would start out tonight talking a little bit about a ridiculous market. David's first comment. Kevin, this market sucks. And let me give you some preference and some background to what's happening and why. And let me tell you a little bit what I did and how I made some of my decisions on this morning's action. Last night, I sent out an email to my clientele, and it basically said, hello, North Korea shot a missile over the edge of the country of Japan. Right now, the futures are down 94 points and will most likely be down as much tomorrow. It depends on the reaction of the United States, Asian countries, and of course the tweets from Trump. Will this cause the U.S. and Japan to abort the military exercises and go to war mode? Is a possibility. Who's to say that Trump won't order the launch of some of our ballistic warheads into the state capitol building in North Korea? We have some protection on. We have a little protection. And some are just stock positions. So out of curiosity, you guys have been around for quite a while. When I say we have some protection on, what does that mean? Some protection is usually just going to be a protective put. It may also be a collar trade. Now, what if I said we have a little protection on? Abraham, what's a little protection? There you guys go. Lance, David, Mary all typed in covered calls. Correct. A little protection is just covered calls. I could see where some protection would be the same thing, but a little protection is usually, what, 1.5% to 3% of the value of the stock is a covered call, which means 97% of your covered call is, 97% of the value of your stock position is not protected. And some I just had some stock positions, some plain old stock positions. I make the comment, we've had support levels hold, but here are some of the stocks we may add protection to immediately tomorrow. Apple shares look good right now. Okay, leaving the shares unprotected. AOBC, this is the old, what is it, Smith & Wesson company. Shares are up in the futures tonight, so buy more guns and camping equipment. Bank of America shares are down 20 cents and may get protection. Baidu is breaking the 220 level with no support until 200, so protection will be on and will be added immediately. CD will get some short-term protection. That would be a covered call. Costco long options are out to June 18, so I can wait it out. Disney has support at 102 and 101, so below 100 will add protection. Ford looked good yesterday. Facebook has plenty of protection on. NVIDIA has deep in the money covered calls, like by $80. That's protected. SPYs are okay with a little protection. It's just a covered call at the money. Visa has tons of protection with covered calls at 95, deep in the money. Zion looks good and wasn't down in the futures last night. So I will be stuck to my computer and the TV tomorrow watching accounts as the situation unfolds. Feel free to call if you want. I spelled that wrong. If you want to go over your portfolio, this time of year we normally have a 5 to 7% pullback, but the market has been beating its historical performance so far. I'll err on the side of protection instead of just hoping things change. Be prepared to see protection added tomorrow to protect us through October as a minimum time frame. Thanks. So, of course, what happened right out of the gates today? The Dow dropped 134 points to the lows of the day. So what did most people do that first hour this morning? Probably sold, definitely. What else? Buy protection or exit, bought puts. Lance says panicked and binge sold. That's kind of funny. David bought puts. A lot of people bought protection. And really, it was right out of the gate. So what do you do? I mean, here's where it comes down to. What do you do when you see things go to hell in a handbasket at the beginning of the market? Worry and worry and worry and hope things turn around. Okay? Any other ideas? Oh, you know what? David made a good comment. You get jerked around and you put stuff on and you take it off for a loss. That's what some people do. Abraham, is better to trade during market time or just at the end of the day tomorrow opening? It could be that. You know what? I usually like to wait for the first hour to go by. I've understood, and my experience has told me, that the worst of the worst or the best of the best sometimes gets exasperated as you have the e-mini traders finish closing out their positions that first 15 to 30 minutes that the market's open. I've also learned that you have some economic reports that now play and can move a market significantly. Anyone know what moved the market today by way of economic reports? Consumer confidence came in at 129 versus estimated 120.3. It was not Harvey in Korea. Harvey is now worse than it was expected with more rain. You guys need to come find me on Facebook. Go Google search Kevin Hurley, Alpine, Utah. Come be my friend. I've got a brother that's out there that's on boats out there rescuing people right now. Amazing the flooding and what he's GoProing out there to have people see. Out there on flatboats rescuing people out of their homes, unbelievable. So yes, Harvey was actually worse than expected. But if you take a look, after that first half hour, we had the consumer confidence numbers come out, and then we really started to see the market turn. Go down to only being 70, then 50, then 30, then 20. My goodness, about midday, it fought for, in fact, I should bring that up. It fought for some profitability. Let's see if I can't bring that up. It was really pretty darn amazing, at least I thought. See if I can't get a minute chart here. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. All right. want the Dow Jones. Dow Jones Industrial Average. And let's get a chart. I am learning the new come on. So, see if I can't get this by minute. Now, under no uncertain terms, do I want to say that today was easy? Because today was certainly not easy. Far from easy. In fact, today was actually quite frustrating. We started out and we went right down today to 21,742. Bounced back up and came back down and touched 21,746. And look at the fight up. 21,768. Back down to 21,775 to back down to 21,760. I mean, it was a rockety, as rocky as can be, for really that first the first couple hours here. Nice to see a bounce off the open, but it was obviously a pretty ridiculous day. When we say ridiculous, it wasn't till really the last couple hours that we saw things really take off. I really don't like this chart. Let's see if I can't launch what I'm more familiar with. In case you don't know, most platforms have really poor charts unless you're Thinkorswim. All right. Not a huge update for me. I am glad that I was up though. And charts are not available, so they no longer use it. So short answer, it wasn't easy. By no means do you have an easy day, but you definitely, I struggled. I sat for that first hour and waited for the E-mini futures to clear out, and then consumer confidence came out the first half hour the market was open, which beat handily. So yes, in real life, just like you guys, I struggle when I see things go down 134 points, 200-point down days. But for that reason, I'll be honest with you, a lot of people that were in spread trades were pissed. Got out of everything the first hour. Were bullish and thought, this is it. This is the turn. This is the drop we're waiting for. It's all starting today. And bailed out of tens of thousands of dollars of losses. Some people asked me today that called in, Kevin, how did you know? And I'm going to be the first one to tell you. I didn't know. I was just worried as you were. I slept about 3.5 hours last night watching futures and watching the Asian markets. I was worried. I was definitely worried because right now I have Apple, a pretty expensive stock by most people's thought processes. I've got Apple unprotected running into their September 12th product announcement. I've got Bank of America, City and Zions without protection. Normally they do pretty good right now as people buy houses into the end of summer as kids start school. I've got Bank of America really unprotected right now, testing the 220 support level. As I looked at the market in the morning, I just about threw on some long puts. It was down $7. I was pissed. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm missing it. You idiot, Kevin, what are you doing? And then it bounced back only down 5, and then down 6, and then down 4, and then down 5, then down 3. I watched it hammer back and forth. My only trade that I did do is I rolled some 250 September covered calls down to 235. And believe it or not, Baidu finished up today, not hugely, but Baidu finished up, well, let me find it. I think 70 cents, and it's still at basically 222. So not a huge day, but it finished up. I struggled this morning, but the only thing I could figure to do was to add some covered calls, which probably lost money today, up 70 cents at 20.69 where it finished. I lost a little bit on my 235s. Bottom for 84 actually, down to 82. I made 2 cents today on my my 235 rolls down. Booked over $1.50-ish on my 250s that were out there. And I sat back and struggled. I struggled like most of you do. But the difference is my longest term spread trade or directional trade right now is in Costco. For those that are with us from the Safe Option Strategies group, I got into Costco way down here thinking I'd found a double bottom. And we were at $12.02. Got into Costco about 152. Pretty amazing, because if you take a look at my new position, all I did is add another contract. Somewhat interesting that make this a little bit bigger for you. It's somewhat interesting now, and hopefully I'm reading this right. We're at 1285, and I know I'm not reading it right because it should be actually like 1149. Something's not right here that I need to go check on. But our Costco calls, we actually did lower them by about 50 cents, coming pretty close to the bottom right here. Pretty big chunk of change. Spent 45,000. It's up about 10 grand at 55,000. Little bit of profit here by about $1.35-ish. but I'm looking for that bounce back up to earnings. And now that I've got an extra contract buying into weakness, I can sell a contract back up here at 58 to the 60 level and lower our cost basis even more. These are out to June 18. In all honesty, if you take a look at the chart, I really don't want to get out of any of these until we get back up to the 170 mark. This is where I'm trying to take a profit. Relates to the gap, relates to support, relates to resistance. That 170 is where I'm going to take off my second contract. In my third contract, I'm going to be greedy, and I'm going to get out at 180. It's going to be a ridiculously good, profitable trade. But in this pullback, I've had the opportunity to add one more position, one more contract. It's a $3,200, $3,100 trade right now. Not a huge trade. But I do expect to make somewhere in the range of $4,000 on it, if not even more than that, if I can get it out at 160, 170, and 180. Those 180s could be worth $3,000 in themselves. So, just my thought process. Why not follow the trend that's been ridiculous? Why not give it a little bit of time and let things come back? Why not be in some stock positions with a little protection, whether it be covered calls or I already have some protection on for other positions where I'm going to be okay? I'm going to be okay. Why not try to take advantage of some of these short-term pullbacks? If you were to ask me what's happening this week, it's obviously North Korea and Harvey. But tomorrow, the week basically ends. When we have our Labor Day on Monday, big money will be out tomorrow. Rather interesting. Anyone know what happens on Friday? Anyone know what happens on Friday? Average work week, right? Non-farm, private farm, hourly, unemployment. Our average work week reports come in. But nobody's going to be here for it. We'll have next to no volume Thursday and Friday. Big money's already out. I didn't write it in here, but on Wednesday, China, CFLP manufacturing, PMI comes out, and then Thursday, the China reported PMI manufacturing index comes out. But we have some pretty big reports on Friday that will have no volume. Friday we could see a really big up day or a really big down day. I think what will mute that comes tomorrow. Tomorrow we have ADP and we have GDP. If GDP comes out better than expected, ADP comes out better than expected, we'll have a pretty nice day on Wednesday. we'll have a flat day on Thursday, and we'll probably have a pretty nice day on Friday as the retail investor tries to interpret what the talking heads are saying on the TV about a pretty good, quote unquote, unemployment report. So if you were to ask me, hey, where's our market going to end this week? I'm going to say higher. Higher with low volume. And it's going to be higher because retail investor interprets average work week reports. And we'll probably get a hint on Wednesday. With all that said, still bearish on the Dow. Yes, it looks like we're just breaking above on our median line on the RSI. Nice to see a bounce off the 50-day, which is still acting as support. Obviously bearish on the MACD. Still bearish, do not have a bullish index going on our third week. Same thing with the S&P 500, but our problem here is we have the 50-day right now acting as resistance. Good opportunity on Wednesday and Friday to follow up to create 3 days of possible support on the 50-day simple moving average. And of course, if I go to the Dow, not the Dow, the NASDAQ composite. Looks a little bit better that we did cross above the 50-day, but still technically bearish. And we're going on 4 weeks on the NASDAQ. If you take a quick peek at the chart, bullish or a bearish month for October? Bullish or a bearish month? Market to go down, so it might be sideways on many days and moving on an average slightly higher. True. But are we on a bullish or bearish month for August? Bearish, there you go. Bearish by about 2%, maybe 1.5%, right? 24.80 down to 24.46. We've had our first bearish month since March. Yet this is typically when we get that pullback, right? 3 to 5 to 7%. Pretty interesting, but not much to worry about. So, I noticed, you'll say, I thought we'd be up for August. Just making my last prediction, will be down 0.5%, which means we're probably going to gain 20 points today and tomorrow and Thursday. That would be my expectation. Earnings. Best Buy today, and why did their CEO screw that one up? H&R Block. Tomorrow, C-Trip reports. 5 apparel reports. Thursday, Dollar General, which they follow Dollar Tree, should be pretty good. Campbell Soup, and no earnings to speak of on Friday. Economic reports. Tomorrow, ADP will be important as well as GDP. Again, if both of those beat, expect to see a pretty good run tomorrow. Could be a 100-point Dow day up. Thursday, really personal spending, Personal income will be the main movers there. Light volume though, and Friday I think we'll piggyback on tomorrow. We get a good day tomorrow on ADP and GDP. We'll probably have a good non-farm payroll. Maybe we'll see a little uptick in the hourly earnings, and we should be good to go. If you haven't noticed, everyone hates our president right now if you look at the media. But consumer confidence came in at 122 point, what was it? 122.9, well above the 120 0.3. So I just thought it was rather interesting that for everyone to hate what's going on by Trump, obviously some things are getting better. Why is it so high? Comes back down to that hopium. Hopefully we're going to get something done. Right now it's tax reform. There's still hope because of the way Trump acts and because of what he says. There is still some hope that he's going to get some things on through. It's funny, he's exactly what we thought he'd be. He is not the establishment. And for all intents and purposes, the establishment hates him. I don't think there's an easier way to say it. But it looks like things are coming around. Looks like things are coming around, and that maybe there's an opportunity where some things can and might get done. Abraham says he'll be reelected. Write a note from 4 years from now and remember. I think he might as well. It's funny. He's acting like we all would want to, but it's not helping anything out. Earnings coming up. AOBC on the 7th next week. Citi on the 12th. Costco on the 5th of October. I got a couple interesting articles, one on Apple and how to look to play it on the 12th. I've got one on Disney and how it's still making money on ESPN, and then a little bit on Baidu. Just some interesting commentary here on stuff that I've looked at that I wanted to share with you. Give me some questions. What questions do you guys have, or what would you like me to comment on or go over that can help you with what you're doing in your trading, or just curiosity about what I'm doing myself? David, do I still believe in Disney? Yes, and my Disney thesis hasn't changed. Disney is still nothing more than you've got $3 billion blockbusters lined up for the end of this year. It's that simple. If I was to look at, I don't know, if I was to look at their bottom line and what's making the money, it's a no-brainer. It's got huge profits and opportunity, and I think it's something that I would expect them to get up into that 120s by the end of the year, because ESPN is not the revenue that you would expect from Disney. Let me take that back. It is the revenue, it's not the profit. Which equity do you feel more confident about for the future profits? Believe it or not, I'm looking at Love. I'm looking at Southwest. It was one that was brought to me, but it's had such a big drop down. I like these guys better than Delta, better than United. Oh, come on. Doesn't like me in this office. So I'm looking at Southwest. Has been beat up pretty significantly. Come on. So looking at Las Vegas Sands, that would be the one that if I had to take a pick and look at a stock or one that I would be thinking of investing in, Las Vegas Sands is where I would be. For the life of me, I'm having a snafu. All right, Ida. Does Costco behave around earnings? Yes, Costco moves around earnings. But I am playing Costco directionally into earnings. I am playing it just with a long call. I hope to remove one of my long call positions for a profit. George, hackers after you. I'm looking to release one of them for a profit, and in all honesty, if I was going to do a short-term covered call, I'd be doing the 160 for a good $5 a credit. You know that's going to give you $5 a profit to the upside. I guess it's $7 a credit, $5 profit to the upside, but I'm running it longer term. I have till June, so I will run it directional through earnings only because their same store sales every single month keeps increasing. So I'm not worried that they're not going to meet their top and bottom line. In fact, they should do quite well. They're also a retail, which usually has a run pre-Christmas. So I'm playing it directionally. I'm not going to be shorting a call against my long calls because I have till June, which gives me this earnings and two more earnings for them to come back, including their after Christmas earnings, which they usually do very well. Any other questions? If not, to let you guys know, I will not be around next Tuesday. The brothers are getting together. We're going to go hike down to the Havasupai Falls there in the Grand Canyon and the Arizona border. So I will not be around next week. I will try to post something on myhurleyinvestment.com, and it'll just at least be my notes for the week, and I will wish you guys well. Guys, pleasure to spend some time with you tonight. You guys have a great week. I will talk to you here again in 2 weeks, and again, look for my notes. I'll try to post those next Monday or Tuesday morning, so you'll see what I see for next week. And otherwise, guys, have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk again in 2 weeks. Bye-bye, y'all.